Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to new standards of excellence.
Yes.
Say yes to engaging reportage with a difference.
Yes.
Introducing Yes International Magazine.
I need us to go down memory lane a little. Which was the first story ever that you wrote that you can readily recollect? What was the title?
I think one that I remember, it wasn't the first, but it was among the earliest for the Punch, not just in this life. It was the one I wrote, I think it was in 2012. I said India produces cars, Nigeria produces churches or religion or something. I don't know. It is still online. It's among, I compared India and Nigeria, two countries that were colonized by the United Kingdom, and India was granted its independence in 1947, while Nigeria was granted independence in 1960. Now, India, yes, 1.4 billion people, Nigeria about 200 million. Nigeria was rising so fast, the whole world was thinking that Nigeria will be the shining light in the world. And then after a while, it came down and it was still going down. Now, India has gradually, just steadily been rising. They are producing some of all the best, the CEOs of all the multinationals are from India. And they have an IT that is very, very robust. Yes, you have that too. But the annoying part is that India was there when I wrote this thing, Innocent had not started to produce his cars, his vehicles. So I said that Nigeria was busy producing the biggest churches in the world, while India had a Tata and Co, where they were rising. You could see the rising slow. They were pulling more people out of poverty, every year. Nigeria was pushing more people into poverty every year. So, but we celebrate, this church has 1 billion people, this one has 1 million capacity, and we are moving our churches from the UK that colonized us, who brought us churches. We are now going to UK to plant big churches. We plant big churches in US. That is virtually what we are producing, while the world was leaving us behind. The businesses that were in all the business districts in Ikeja, in Enugu, in Aba, in Kano, in Asaba, all the mills, Asaba mills, Kaduna mills and all that, they were folding up, and churches were buying up all the warehouses and building their churches there. So, and people were clapping that we are combating souls for Christ, without knowing the effect. If you close down, if all the factories close down and you have churches, how many people can be employed by the churches? So what will happen? People will go into poverty. People will become jobless. That is why you see the employment rate of the unemployment rate. I think the last time they were talking about 60 something of youth or something. I don't have the figures now. But when you have such a high unemployment rate, crime goes high too. People are angry. Everything is so you will see that those people who don't go to church now, that their countries are very peaceful. Those of us who sleep in the church from morning to night throughout the week and expanding and planting churches all over the world, we can't even move through one place to the other because of insecurity. Because when people are jobless, they will be angry, they will go into crime. So that was what I was saying, that if Nigeria does not start producing vehicles, start producing clothes, start producing shoes and all that to export, like all the small countries, like small and not small, like Vietnam and Singapore are doing, we will have what we have today. And today we have it. It is even worse. I will just pray that something will happen. So that's one of the earliest ones that I remember.
Now I want to find out from you, which has been the most memorable story that you've written, and why?
I think this one that I mentioned was one of it, and then there was one I wrote before the policy of before Innocent and Co started. I don't know if it affected Jonathan to start the policy, because after about 1 or 2 months after I wrote it, Jonathan came up with the policy that car manufacturing companies will no longer do business in Nigeria if they did not have either a plant or an assembly plant or something like that. So I can't remember the year, just either 2012 or something like that. Shortly after that, he made that announcement, and that was when, because I was saying that Nigerian market is too big, that we should come up with a policy that if you want to sell your cars in Nigeria, even if you don't have the manufacturing plant, you should have an assembly. You should not bring in completely assembled vehicles into our country. That no sensible country does that. You should have so that when you have an assembly plant, you should be able to employ let's say 1,000 or 2,000 people. Now if you have a car manufacturing plant, you can employ up to 5,000 or 10. Now if you have all these things, just imagine all the Toyota, all the Nissan, all the Mercedes and all that. So that was after I said it. Kosharis now said he was building something at after Aja. I heard that another Jonathan came up with that, and they began to announce that they were coming to set up a thing. That is the way it is done. Every country should be able. The duty of a writer is to help government to change, to know. In case you did not know, you come up with suggestions and idea that will help government to change its policies, or come up with rules that will help to promote the but then some government will see you as an opponent once you don't sing their praise. But any government that understands the role of the writer in the society will know that the writer is there not to massage your ego, but to tell you the hard truth. If you like, you take it. If you don't like, let it be, and he doesn't lose anything.